My team closed $1,008,000 in wholesale assignment fees in 2025. I'm 25 years old. I started in real estate at 18 years old with no money. And this past year, we closed 34 deals in one of the most expensive markets in the country, Washington State. No virtual wholesaling, all in one market. But here's the thing, this wasn't some lucky year. This is the third million that I've made in real estate, and it's the result of thousands of conversations, systems, lots of mistakes, and one major shift that changed everything for our business. In this video, I'm breaking down where every single one of those deals came from, what we actually spent to get them, and the realities of the numbers, our biggest wins, our biggest failures, and the one change that took us from maybe one deal a month to consistently closing 3 to 4 deals a month. So if you're trying to close your first wholesale deal or you're stuck only doing 1 or 2 per quarter, I'm going to show you exactly what happens when you commit to the basics and build real systems. Let's break it down. All right, let's start off with some raw numbers straight from our CRM. In 2025, total revenue was $1,008,000 in assignment fees. Total deals closed at 34. Average assignment fee was $31,500 per deal. That is a good day. Now, what's interesting is our average fee actually dropped compared to previous years. Back in 2022, I've been wholesaling for about 5 years now, our average was closer to $40,000 per deal. What happened? There were 3 things that changed in the market. Interest rates scared buyers, investors became much more conservative, and we had to start getting creative with deal structure and seller financing. Probably 3 or 4 of our deals were seller financed last year. But here's the key. We made up for lower fees with volume. We simply closed more deals. Our biggest deal of the year was a $100,000 assignment fee on a house in Bellevue, and our smallest deal was on a condo for $5,000, and we honestly almost didn't even do that one. But baby deals like that keep the momentum going. Numbers are great, but now for the part everyone wants to know: where did the deals actually come from? Here's the breakdown. Number 1, cold calling, my friends. If you are new to this channel, you are going to learn that deals come from cold calls. 56% of our deals, in fact. So 18, more than half of our deals came from cold calling. This is our bread and butter. I have at any given time 20 to 30 wholesalers on my team, and each caller aims for 40 to 50 conversations with homeowners in our area per day. We use Enzo Dialer to be efficient with our calling, and we pull our lists from Property Radar, targeting homeowners with 20 plus years ownership, high equity, and built before 1990. Very, very simple. We pull very big lists covering all of Western Washington, and the job of my team is to just call through the homeowners, use our script, ask them if they're planning to sell, and look for those people who are already thinking about selling and want the cash offer. So with these filters, people who have owned their house for a long time and the house is old, these are the people most likely to consider selling off market. They just want a convenient, easy sale. And that's what our sellers appreciate about what we do. The cost comes out to about $300 to $500 per month per team member who is cold calling. That's for data and dialer. And it generated over half our deals. Cold calling works because it allows you to target people who haven't listed their house yet. And off market is where you find the best wholesale deals, especially in expensive markets like Seattle. And those are the best deals. Number 2, database referrals and other wholesalers. 37% or 12 of our deals came from this category. And this surprised even me. A huge portion of our deals came from relationships. This is past sellers calling us back, realtors that we've built trust and relationships with, and other wholesalers who couldn't move their deals and needed access to a bigger buyer database. And the crazy part is this cost us $0 in marketing. Just reputation and follow through. This is what happens when you don't burn bridges, you do good business, and you actually deliver what you promise. Lastly, PPC, direct mail, and driving for dollars. This made up 7% of our business last year. We tested PPC with iSpeed to lead. We do a little bit of handwritten letters to the same high equity lists, and then like a little bit of driving for dollars. ROI here was significantly lower. We found online leads to be very expensive in a high-end market, and mailing was something I used to do very heavily in years past, but because the cold calling system has worked so well for us, we focus on that department more than postcards. So these gave us a handful of deals, and they're still valuable, but just not our main engine. The big lesson is cold calling is king. If you don't have a system where you're contacting 50 to 100 homeowners per day, you are leaving money on the table. That is the KPI to hit to have a thriving wholesale business. This is a conversation business, point blank, period. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, okay, this actually makes sense, but how do I do this myself? This is why I built the Off Market Academy. It's how my most successful team members and I break down the exact systems we use to find deals, from the cold calling scripts to the lead lists we pull, to how to actually turn those conversations into contracts. It's a virtual community, and we go live several times a week doing trainings, script roleplay, and masterminds and Q&A with people who are actively building their wholesale business. So if you want coaching, real-world resources, and a community of people actually doing deals, you can check the link out in the description below. All right, now let's talk about an important reality behind these numbers. One thing I want to show you that most people don't talk about is how many offers it actually takes to close deals. We did literally tens of thousands of conversations in 2025 that turned into hundreds of leads, and we met with and wrote 216 offers to sellers. Out of those 216, 64 actually signed and we got under contract, so the rest just kind of disappeared or they didn't like the price, and 34 of the 64 actually closed. So roughly 1 out of every 6 offers we wrote turned into a closing, and this is really important to understand if you're getting into wholesaling. Every offer you write will not necessarily sell. I'm going to cover this a little more when I talk about our wins and failures, but most of the offers that we didn't sell are because we compromised with the seller on price. We let them know where we would be confidently to close, but they wanted more, and we wanted to try and see if we could get them more. So we signed the contract with them at a higher price. We included contingencies, as we always do, to protect ourselves and give ourselves an exit in the event that we can't sell it. And then we try and market to investors, but then the numbers just don't work out. Then we try to renegotiate with the seller. They don't want to drop price, so we just cancel the deal. Happens all the time, and a higher than 50% contract to close rate is actually pretty good in the wholesaling world. Again, this is a volume and conversations game. The wholesalers who win aren't the ones writing perfect offers. They're the ones writing a lot of offers and moving fast. Now let's talk about something wholesalers rarely ever show: the real costs. Here's what we spent in 2025. All right. Property radar data and skip tracing, $20,000. Enzo Dialer, $40,000. That's for 25 seats. CRM systems, $2,400. Investor Lift, $9,300. Investor Lift is a platform we use to sell our deals. It did not work out for us in 2025, so we actually cut that one. And other subscriptions, tools, event expenses, etc., $24,800. So total marketing spend was about $96,500. Compared to the revenue of $1,008,000, that's a 10.5x return on our marketing spend. Again, pretty decent for $1 million operation. Now the lesson here is pretty simple. Systems cost money, but if you use them correctly, the ROI is pretty insane. Now, as the head honcho of this operation, how much did I actually take away? From the $1 million, I paid out $486,000 in splits to the team. So after team splits and marketing costs, I took home about $422,000. You guys think I'm joking. I would say this wholesaling thing is pretty worth it. On that note, our biggest wins, number one was the $100K Bellevue deal. This seller wanted $2.6 million. We negotiated it to 2.2. That took a lot of time and seller motivation. And we sold it to a flipper for 2.3. So I believe that we actually contracted them at their 2.6 that they were asking. We marketed to our investors. The highest offer was 2.3. So we asked the sellers for 2.2. They were not happy, and it took several weeks of kind of going back and forth, and they're like, no, we don't want to do it. And then they came back and they're like, you know what, we have to move fast. We're buying this other house. Let's do it. So we signed the seller 2.2, signed the buyer 2.3 for assignment fee, paid out of escrow, no double close, $100,000. Again, there were a lot of hoops to get this closed. It was quite the process, but we got it done. The team worked very hard on this one. We earned every dollar of that assignment fee, and that deal alone basically paid for the entire year of marketing. Another great win was scaling the team. At the start of the year, it was just me and 10 callers, and by the end, we had over 30 wholesalers and team members. We had senior closers. These are people who were promoted within the team, more junior cold callers. I hired a disposition manager, and then 2 administrative VAs supported the back end of our business. And then systems, processes, and SOPs within that for communication, transaction coordination, and making sure everyone was supported so that the business wasn't relying on me to get every deal closed. That was huge for us doing this kind of volume and in an expensive market where it's really important that we deliver on what we promise and make everything a smooth process for our sellers. And then lastly, the referral pipeline. It was so great to have so many deals come to us just from basically word of mouth. It's great that when you build a reputation in the industry and in your local community, deals just start coming to you. Now the part nobody likes talking about. I have no issue sharing my failures because I know that my failures only make me stronger. The mistakes. So $9,600 spent on investor lift. We used it in the past with success, but last year just didn't move the needle, so we cut it, which is fine because now I get to save that much in 2026. Do I still recommend it? Yes. If you're dealing with like 300K plus in revenue, then it's a great tool to add to your business. But before that, pulling cash buyer lists on Property Radar works just fine. Number 2, losing deals to other wholesalers. We lost quite a few deals. It's normal in the business. Most of the time, it's other wholesalers offering higher and then not being able to deliver. And that's not what I want to do to sellers. I don't want to promise a seller a price and then piss them off. A lot of times I'll tell them like, yeah, I could sign for your price, but I'm probably gonna back out after the inspection period. And then they're like, okay, I don't want to do that. And I'm like, I don't want to do that either. Good luck. But the ones who actually sign are the ones who are interested in us marketing to our network and seeing if we can get their price. It's a free service to the seller. I don't know why a lot more of our sellers don't take advantage. The lesson here is don't chase every deal. Focus on the ones where you can actually deliver and it's actually a service to your seller. And then lastly, burnout. Cold calling is a hard thing. We have turnover on the team. We had quite a few quit after their first couple weeks last year, and it taught us something important. You hire for mindset and coachability, not just hustle, because a lot of people will say that they want to get into this and they're ready to put in the work, and then they just don't. So especially when you're hiring people on commission only, it's important to follow the old adage, hire slow, fire fast. And now the one shift that changed everything, this was the biggest change that we made all year. Just like I've been talking about, we stopped chasing unmotivated sellers. Earlier in the year, we'd spend weeks talking to people who said things like, maybe I'll sell in 6 months, or just seeing what you'd offer, or we're thinking about listing. It was like end of Q2, beginning of Q3, we made a rule. If they're not selling within 90 days, we follow up later. We don't chase them. We want to make our focus and attention available to the sellers who are ready now. And that one shift doubled our deal flow because we started focusing on the 10% of sellers who actually want to sell. Your time is your most valuable asset, so spend it on people who are ready. With all of that said, going into 2026, we're making a few key adjustments. First, we're focusing on team quality over quantity. Second, I'm reducing my direct mail. The ROI just isn't there for us. So currently, I'm sending about 3,000 handwritten letters per month to targeted lists. We'll let you know how that goes this year. And then third, we're building a much stronger buyer list. We lost a handful of deals simply because we didn't have the right buyer lined up. Like, they were things where we knew there was a buyer out there, but we just couldn't get enough exposure to the deal. So we're gonna continue working cash buyer lists and scraping investor data online. With more buyers comes more offers and higher assignment fees, and we wanna make sure that we're getting our deals out to all the active investors in their state. And then finally, continuing with delegation and fixing bottlenecks, so the business doesn't rely on me being involved in every deal and we can turn out these deals faster. So that's the breakdown: $1,008,000 in assignment fees, 34 deals, and a wholesaling business that's starting to run without me being on every call. If you're wondering how to get your first wholesale deal, I made a video breaking down the exact system we use, scripts, tools, everything. You can check it out right here. And if you want live structured coaching on building your business and a community of people actively doing deals, check out Off Market Academy below. See you in the next one.